Good day, everyone. This is Daniel again, and in this video, we will be discussing on distance and displacement. Now, let's go into it. What do we define as distance? I define distance as the length of the total path covered from one position to another. That is, I'll explain more on it, and I define displacement as the straight line or shortest distance between 2 points. Now, let me explain what I meant by it. When we talk about distance, distance is just okay. How long has that person moved, or when we're talking about someone or something, like what is the total length from this point to the other point? Um, like let's say we are referring to maybe how far someone has gone. Like just we are just concerned about how much length he or she must have covered. It could also be an inanimate object like a vehicle. But when we're talking about the displacement, we are not too concerned about how how many spaces that person has covered. We are just concerned about its displacement. That is okay. From where did it start and from where did it stop? Let me give some example. Okay, now let's assume someone is located at this point. This is someone here, and let's assume there is no his the destination is here, but this is the only path he could follow. Like this is the way. So he has to move all the way from the start point, and then till he finally gets to the finish point. Now, when we talk about his distance, the distance is how long he had moved. So if we can measure the total length from here to here, we say that okay, he had moved this distance. That's the total distance he had moved. So that's what we mean by the total part. That's when we say the length of the total part covered. This is the how long the total part is. That when we say that okay, we have moved this distance. But when we talk about displacement, we say it's a straight line or shortest distance between 2 points. Now, if we ask what is the displacement of this person, although he has moved from here to here, he has moved a very long distance, but this is his displacement. His displacement is just his distance from here to here. If you measure the distance from here to here, that's his displacement, and that's why it's called displacement. That is how far he had been displaced. That's why it's called the shortest or straight line distance. So it doesn't really matter how long he had gone, as long as he started here and he ended here. We say that this is the displacement from here to here. Let me just use another one as an example to explain the difference between this distance and displacement. As in some way they're actually different, and in sometimes they can actually be the same. Okay, now let's assume someone is located here, as this is where he started, and then he now decided to move along this way and then came back to this exact position. Now if I ask for the total distance he had moved, the total distance is the circumference of this circle. That is, if you measure the length from here to here, that's the total distance you have moved. But when we ask for his displacement, the answer is zero. Like this displacement is zero because he had not displaced. He's still at the same position where he was. So he has no displacement. So you can see that distance and displacement is just somehow same. They are just somehow, they have some sort of differences. Okay, look at this one. Okay, let's assume someone starts from here, and then he wants to move over to this place. So let's see, after starting from here, then he gets to his destination. If we ask what's the total distance he had moved, the total distance he had moved is his distance from here to here. That's the total distance he had moved. But when we ask for his displacement, that's a more it's just about okay, what's the shortest distance? That is the straight line distance. This is also his displacement if you look at it, because this is the shortest distance. So you see that in this case, the distance moved by this person is also his displacement. So if we can actually get the meaning of distance and displacement, then we can be able to tell which in which case they are the same and which case they are different. So that's just the explanation on distance and displacement. Okay, now I want to actually merge distance and displacement with postposition. Let's see how they are actually related to each other.